everyone. As you know, probably,
Hello everyone.
I am Kalyani Vallath and I'm starting to work with Unacademy. I have been teaching for NTA for the past 23 years now, and it is a wonderful opportunity that Unacademy has given me to meet all of you and to help you clear NTA. You are all aspirants of NTA in English literature mostly. And today I'm sure you're listening to me because I'm going to tell you how to study English literature for NTA. We are all enthusiasts, students and enthusiasts and passionate readers. But to pass an exam, it is not enough that we have a degree. It is not enough that we have been reading and studying. You need to have some strategies. Today, in this period of the pandemic, when education has gone online, platforms like Unacademy has taken up the initiative to completely transform education. It is wonderful. And in Unacademy, I have been asked to start a 4-month complete course, which is what you see on the screen. And also there is a 1-month MCQ course that will prepare you for the upcoming exam. What we will do here is what I suggest that you do on your own also. That is to study English literature for NTA. You have to first make a timetable based on a syllabus that you devise. As you know, NTA has a very vast syllabus. You can be asked questions on any major authors and any major works. You can be asked questions on the biographies, the publishing, the awards, textual details, and not only from literature of Britain, but also literatures of America, literature of Europe, literature of post-colonial countries, including India. It is almost like world literature, isn't it? And you will also be asked questions from literary theory, criticism and cultural studies, linguistics, research methods. All this is about paper 2. In paper 1 also, you will have additional topics. So that looks like a vast subject. How will you master all this? You have to be very, very systematic. You know, a task like this can be managed well if you have a proper plan. That is why you need teachers or a course to help you. Because from the course, you will get a plan, you will get a strategy, and there will be continuous, constant revision. It is much easier when you're doing it along with your friends according to a structure. So we should have a syllabus. How do we make the syllabus? Making the syllabus for NTA itself will be like half the preparation for NET. Because what I have done is to look at a lot of past question papers, identify all the major authors and works for the past 23 years, mind you. I've been doing that. And identify the major authors and works, movements, periods. I will tell you, Apurva, after I talk about how to prepare for a little while, I will come to your questions. To study this question paper, every one of you cannot take 23 years. But that's okay, I'm telling you. I will be telling you in YouTube, I'll be telling you in the app. And once you have identified all the major authors' works, periods, movements, concepts pertaining to literatures, as well as from criticism, theory, cultural studies, linguistics, etc., then you should study these authors' works in somewhat detail. Try to read on your own. This is not an impossible task. If you're doing it on your own, you can do it perhaps within a year or two if you are a beginner. But if you're doing it with the help of people like me, then you are getting our knowledge and experience as well as your work together. It will be amazing. It is easy as you go by. In the beginning, it is like a forest. Everything is confusing. You can't see properly, isn't it? But as you go by, it becomes easier. So when you study, you have to look at the macro view of the period. You should know about the period at large. What are the important cultural developments, political, social developments? Then you should talk about, you should read about the biographies of the authors. You should read about the chronological arrangement of works when they were published. You should read about the works themselves. Themes are important, characters are important, criticism is important, criticism about a work and about an author. For example, when you read about Milton or Spencer or Dickens, what did the critics say about them? Sometimes quotations from critics, quotations from the text itself, theories that are applied to the text, all these are important. Many people study on their own, but if you study with a teacher according to a strategy and a structure of a course, then nothing will be left out. All these can be covered and the right perspective can be developed. So once you study like this, you have to also remember to write down all the information, to collect all the information, not perhaps in a notebook, but on the computer if you can. Keep on adding more and more to the information and do your own research. How is NET these days different from NET in the past? In the past, NTA NET or UGC NET as it was about facts. If you mugged up some facts, if you memorized facts, you would be able to answer. But today, you have to have analytical approach. You need a research-oriented perspective. As you know, the question paper of NTA NET could be set by Central University professors, and the syllabi from across India could be important in preparing for NET. So it is very important that we should identify. We should be able to identify the main points of a text from a research-oriented theoretical perspective, which comes with practice. You should make it a habit to read extra about the authors and works that you study. Undertake your own small research for every major author if possible. Understand deeply. Analyze, cross-connect. When you study like that, it becomes very easy to remember as well. You will have no problem in remembering. I will tell you everything, Nikat, and all your questions I'm seeing. Once I come to the end of what I'm saying, I will address your questions. Thank you for asking me questions. So, study on your own in a research-oriented perspective with the guidance that you get from us. And as you study, don't forget what you have studied earlier. That is also very important in a an exam like NTA NET. You have to keep on revising. You have to keep on practicing. That is why, along with a 4-month complete course that will give you a thorough knowledge as well as a tremendous lot of PDF notes, along with the 4-month course in Unacademy that is starting now, I will also be starting an MCQ Crash Course. It says MCQ, but don't worry, I'll be explaining the questions and answers. I will be talking around it. Just memorizing a question and answer is not enough. You have to study around it so that any question that comes from that area, you will be able to master. You will be able to answer. I'm starting an MCQ course, which is a crash course, 1-month crash course, starting from tomorrow for this upcoming exam. And if you join, you will get those materials. Otherwise, you should also practice on your own. You should practice every day, whatever you have studied again, so that your brain will get the knack of thinking and cross-connecting and guessing intelligently. That is very important. Because not every question in any exam you write only by knowledge. Sometimes you write by general knowledge and intelligence, which will help you to guess and cross-connect correctly. Did you understand? So it is not difficult. It is not impossible. It only needs a strategy. This is about literature. Now, Nikhat Parveen is asking me about literary theory. You know, what is the difference between literature and mathematics? Both are interesting subjects. Both are useful to us. Both pertain to our lives. But one is a certain language, the other is a different language. You understand mathematics in a different way, different from understanding literature. Like that. Literature and literary theory are two different subjects that need two different kinds of understanding. Because literary theory is mostly about philosophy. These days it is also about sociology. So what I do in literary theory is to connect it with everyday examples, things that we know, and then it becomes very easy to understand concepts, which is what I will do in the complete course and a little bit in the MCQ course. Once the initial phase is over in understanding literary theory, you have to start reading. Unless you start reading easy literary theory books first, and then difficult books, unless you read, you will not be able to understand completely. Literary theory has a way of looking at things, has a way of argument, has a way of writing. Slowly and steadily you will master it. You should understand that you should not be studying just 1 month before the exam alone. You should take 4 or 5 months, attend a course, and then sit at home and study thoroughly. It requires a little time, if you are a beginner, that is. It requires a little time. But once you study properly, once you study thoroughly, then the foundation will be laid, and then it will be easier. For me also, for any teacher or any student or any scholar, it was difficult in the beginning. It was not easy. It was difficult. But we can easily overcome that difficulty with the correct kind of guidance, the correct kind of hard work. Just mindless hard work is not good. You should do smart work. You should study in the appropriate manner. And do not just prepare in the last minute before the exam. Study for some few months thoroughly. Every basic concept should be clear. And then it becomes very easy. Then you have to keep revising. then you will pass not only NTA but any exam in English literature that you write. I teach like that. I believe in that and I teach like that. And many students have experienced that this is right. That is why I'm telling you. So do not have any fear towards the exam or towards literary theory. Understand things properly. In a very easy manner you start. Then start your own reading little bit. Continue with it, revise it. And within a few months, your career would have completely changed. You as a student, you will be completely changed. Every time I taught a batch for the last 23 years, this has happened. I'm confident that you will change if you study like that. I know it from experience. Please do it. There are no shortcuts. Shortcuts are not my cup of tea. I believe in taking a few months off, studying things properly, and then laying the foundations correctly. Bindas, you will be able to pass any exam. Without working enough, without focusing enough, don't think it didn't work out. You have to focus. You have to put in like 5-6 hours of work if possible. You have to take care of yourself. Keep your mind fresh and clear. Be positive. Be eager and passionate. And study with enjoyment, with focus, concentration. Identifying all the important elements. This is how I teach. And I think this method will never fail. What is wrong with it? It cannot fail if you study thoroughly. If you believe it, if you depend on luck, if you depend on shortcuts, you can succeed, but you can also fail. The risk factor is higher. I'm extremely grateful to Unacademy because they realized that this method is the best method for students. That is why they have brought me here. They have really done a very great service to the student community because they are trying to show, they are trying to assert that we need thorough education, thorough learning, not shortcuts, not somehow passing net. It is a very big step that Unacademy has already taken. I have also been trying to take, and you should also take. Study thoroughly, lay the foundations properly. Every class, every book, every session you attend, every video you watch will help you in so many ways. Bring it all together into a thorough understanding of the subject. I don't want to bore you by saying the same things again and again. Now, there are a few other questions. What is the strategy to solve PYQ? I will explain that first. Why do you have to look at previous year's questions? Let us look at the philosophy of it. They are not going to ask the same questions again. Apurva, I hope you are listening to me. They are not going to ask the same questions again, obviously. Like I told you already, when you look at one question from the previous year, you are not looking at one piece of information. You are looking at a whole area in itself. You are looking at an author, a work, and a certain perspective that helps you to understand that author and work better. You have to read extra about the question. You have to understand that this kind of question can come about other authors and works. Every previous year question is a whole area in itself. If there is a question about Charles Dickens, for example, In which of the following novels of Charles Dickens is Esther Summerson the narrator? Imagine that some of you did not know the answer. And then you look up in the internet and find, oh, it is Bleak House. Immediately read about Bleak House, read about this character, read about narrators in Charles Dickens. Expect questions about narrators in other novelists also. So this question has given you a pointer. Narrators are important. And why? What are the different kinds of narrators? There are intrusive narrators, unreliable narrators. Either you read notes about it or already some ready-made material about it, or you embark on a little bit of research and read about all this. Otherwise, store in your memory. Okay, next time you come across different kinds of narrators, you know it is important. You have to manage your notes. You have to arrange your notes. The best thing is to do it online. Whenever you get additional information about narrators, store it in the same place in the file. Search for narrator, that heading, and put all the narrator related information in that place and read it periodically every week if possible. We can do this as an activity in the classroom, or you can do it as part of your self-learning. It is this kind of analysis that has led me to produce books and material that many of you must have already used, which is what I am bringing into Unacademy as well. So this is what is called research-based perspective. You have to look at a question. For the past 1 or 2 decades, I have been using objective type questions like this only. One objective type question should have an explanation with it. You should know about it, around it, so that one previous year question will help you answer many questions of the same kind, or many questions about the same book and author. Am I boring you guys? Are you finding this useful? Let me know. Please tell me in the chat box if this is useful and if you are finding it interesting. Yeah. Another question that I have been asked is about GATE exam. GATE exam does not have a completely different syllabus or anything. The focus is a little different. GATE exam focuses a lot on contemporary literature and also theory and modern approaches. If you attend the complete course for NTA NET, where I talk about all the authors and works in detail, you will definitely get a very good foundation for GATE as well. Vidya Kumari, I hope you are listening to me. In GATE exam, the nature of the questions is also a little different. In my MCQ course, I have already added that kind of questions also. What is common to 2 texts? What is common to 2 texts? Either the genre could be common, or the theme could be common, or the nature of the character could be common. That is an analytical question. That kind of information is necessary for NET, even though NET exam does not have exactly the same kind of question. If you know that kind of information, it will help you answer many questions in NET also. You know, the same English literature, the same corpus of authors, works, movements is what is giving rise to the questions of NET, SET, GATE. They are not completely different things. What you need to do for any of these exams is to study English literature thoroughly. I can tell you one thing, actually 2 things. It is possible, I will never say that it is impossible to pass any exam without coaching. It is possible to pass any exam without coaching, obviously. I have passed NET with JRF without coaching. But as I already said, if you have coaching, it is easier. You get a guidance, you get a direction, and you get material, very importantly. Even if you do not join the courses that I conduct, I'm still there. I'm still there in YouTube and Unacademy Special. But if you join the complete course, what you get is a thorough foundation in all the authors, periods, and everything related to English literature. I'm sure all of you are aware that I have the material already, and I can give it to you. Based on that, you can build your mansions. So, if you're asking me if my complete course will help you with NET only or whether it will help you with Maharashtra Set and GATE, etc., definitely it will help you. Definitely. It won't be a waste of money for you because in a few months, if you join for 1 month, you get the MCQ course completely. If you join for 4 months, you will get the complete course. Whatever you join, I can promise you one thing, it'll be worthwhile, it'll be worth it. But I can also tell you that this method I'm telling you today is what I'm following, and this method you can also follow. So just don't prepare for one exam. When you prepare with or without coaching, you should prepare for NET, SET, GATE and all related exams, because that foundation you get will tremendously help you and help you pass all these exams, God willing. Another question you have asked me is how to approach poetry comprehension based questions in exams. As I told you, literature is one language and literary theory is another language. Mathematics is another language. What you need is the language to understand poetry. Understanding prose or novel is different from understanding poetry. In order to understand poetry, what should you do? There is a very simple answer. You should read poetry. When you attend a complete course with me, you will get the foundation about the poets and their style. In a very thorough manner, I'll give you the right perspective. And then based on that perspective, you will be able to read and understand easily, more easily. Every day, if possible, set apart at least half an hour to read poetry from different parts of the world, of different styles. Join some poetry group in social media, for instance, where you will get new poems, read them. When you hear or study about a poet, at least for a few minutes, read their poetry. You may not understand everything suddenly, but we live in an age when summary and analysis is easily available. Read the poem and try to read the summary and analysis also. Within a few weeks, you would have improved your poetry reading skills. I promise you this. Definitely, with regular reading, your poetry reading skills will improve. It is not difficult. It only takes concerted effort. It takes a plan and strategy. That is all. So, just read poetry and analyses of the major authors from different movements and styles. You heard about New York poets. For the first time in your life, you never heard about them before. When you hear about the New York poets, make it a point to go and find out who are the New York poets. What have they written? Take a look. Having an account in Amazon will help you use Kindle. Otherwise, as all of you know, you have Poetry Foundation and such websites where you get a lot of books, lots of poetry. Read them. That is the best and the foolproof way to excel in poetry appreciation. Nikhat is asking, can I crack the NET exam within 6 months under your guidance? I am confident, as I already told you. I will give you a strategy. I will give you the material. I will do my part confidently. Ma'am, if I join your 6-month course, will you do your work? If that is what you're asking me, absolutely, yes. If God gives me health and life, I will definitely do my work. But my work is not alone enough. You have to work. That is in your hands. I will tell you how to work. I will motivate you to work. I will give you the material to work on. You have to study it. You have to revise. As I told you, do a little bit of research. Already 23 years of research I'm giving you. Based on that, you have to do a little more research. Then, if you are sure that you will do your part, I promise you, you can do it. But then, friends, let me tell you another thing. NET is a national level exam. Normally, people will take a little time to pass. It is not easy. And if at all you have not passed by now, don't be disheartened. That doesn't mean that you are not good enough. That doesn't mean you have not studied enough. Some competitive exams are like that. They need absolutely uncompromising quality. Otherwise, you should have tremendous amount of luck. So to get uncompromising quality, you need time. And everybody does not have the same pace of work. But I am here to tell you, as I've always said throughout these 23 years, I am here to tell you that you can do it. You will not be defeated. You can do it. Because we know English literature is only this much. And we know how to study. We have the material. What stops us from studying? Nothing. You can do it. Each and every one of you who's here and who are going to watch this video later, all of you, I can promise you one thing, if you study with passion and hard work, you can do it. Roma, will clearing NET be useless as PhD will be a compulsory qualification for assistant professor? There are two things obviously there. One is preparing for NET means what? Preparing for NET means you are studying English literature thoroughly. It will definitely enhance your research acumen. It will definitely make you a better scholar. It will definitely give you better skills. Once you have reached that level, pass NET also. Definitely, when you go for an interview, people with PhD and NET will be there. If you are there with only PhD and not NET, obviously that is a lesser qualification. Even in the age when PhD will be compulsory, I'm sure that clearing NET will give you an additional advantage. Because NET requires quality. PhD will have uneven quality. All PhD projects, all PhD dissertations do not have the same quality. And this is a national level qualifying exam. It looks very good on your CV if you have passed NET with JRF. I will never say that you should not write NET. I will never say that it will be useless. It has multiple uses. One, it makes you a scholar. It makes you a wonderful teacher and scholar. You know, my experience, the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, in my career, is that I taught for NET. Because it made me aware of everything in English literature. It gave me so tremendous exposure and knowledge. I remember once I went to Oxford to present a paper. There were professors from all over the world, so many brilliant people. I was feeling inferior and small. And then somebody presented a paper on clothing, culture studies paper on clothing. Suddenly, a lot of things that I know came to my mind. And I said, I want to say something. I have a question. And then in front of the entire group of professors from the US and UK and from all over the world, I stood up and said, I just wanted to bring to your notice that there was in the Victorian period a new woman movement, associated with which there was Victorian dress reform movement and rational dress movements. And then I began talking about Hardy and Elizabeth Gaskell and Brontes and Dickens and 20th century. So many things I knew suddenly came to my mind, and I stood there and talked about all that. And then many of these professors from sociology department, English literature department, they said, wow, we didn't know that before. And at that point, I thought, thank you, NTA. Because I knew all these things. I did not know it when I passed MA. I studied it for NTA, to teach for NTA. It gives you tremendous knowledge. It helps you do your research better. It helps you pass many exams. It helps you become a scholar, a true scholar. That way you should study. In that way you should study. It will take only a few months, I'm telling you. After those few months, continuously, lifelong, you have to be a student. You can never stop learning. Then, if you stop learning, your career will end. That is the problem. Now, did I clear your confusion, Roma? See, I'm an idealist, but I'm also very practical. I'm an idealist. I don't compromise. I aim at the best, and I try to give the students the best also. But I'm very practical, which is why I'm here. You should also be like that. You should not compromise on quality. Aim high. Be idealist. But you should also be very practical. You should be looking at the exam. You should be looking at your available time, your available resources, and making the most of it. Like metaphysical poets would tell you, carpe diem. Make hay while the sun shines. Make the most use, the opportune use of the present moment. When you have facilities, use them. Because that will be a foundation. You know, we are all very practical people. Many of us are business-minded people. We want to make the best use of money and resources. That is how our culture is, our society is. And that is how we all are. I'm telling you, get the best resources, use it the best way without wasting time. Lay your foundation properly and jobs will come to you, I'm telling you. If you're a scholar, if you're a great writer, if you're a good speaker, if you know the subject properly, nothing can prevent you from getting excellent job offers. What is Santush saying? Not for this RPSE, but next time when exam is conducted. I don't know about when next RPSE will be conducted. How to solve chronological questions. How to remember publishing years, because there are so many writers and movements. Thank you, Shailesh. I hope you're listening to me. I will answer that question. I'm supposed to be very good at this chronology thing, because in my student years itself, I learned that the best way to remember years is to know about the period a little bit, is to know what happened at that time when this book was published, and then cross-connect with social events and other books that were published, etc. Secondly, you should have a visual memory. So when you study, you should cross-connect and study. Pay attention to the years. Know a little bit about what happened in that year. All these things will be very difficult alone. But I'm there. If you want me, I can help you with it. Secondly, have a visual memory. When you think defense of poesy, 1595 should come along with it. When you think the prime of Miss Jean Brodie, 1961 should come along with it. When you think William Wordsworth, 1770 to 1850 should come along with it. Visually remember. Visual memory is all about paying attention. If you look at it for some time and want to remember and revise it, you will remember. And there are so many fun ways of remembering as well. In one of the coming sessions in YouTube, I will be talking about fun ways to remember and doing activities with you. In YouTube here. So, cross-connecting with other writers. For example, Wordsworth was born in 1770 and 2 years later, Coleridge, like that. Always, whenever you think of those years, remember that. Remember, Ben Jonson and John Donne were born in the same year, 1572. When I say that, I can see it in my mind. 1572. From today onwards, please practice. You can start with, I think this started in my childhood when I started memorizing the number plates of cars, the numbers of cars. It was just a game that I played in those days. But then later in my student years and years as a teacher, it became invaluable. Please do that. Every day. You know, learning is about continuous learning. These days, contemporary educational theorists talk about continuous learning. Learning is not only about 2 hours that you spend on Unacademy app or in YouTube. Learning is continuous. You have to constantly remember it, revise it. That is what makes you a professional. A doctor, when he sees people, when he looks at everything around him, he will look like a doctor, right? His perspective will be that of a doctor. A lawyer will have a lawyer's perspective. An English literature teacher should also have an English literature perspective. And a perspective that will help you with remembering chronology and things like that. Then, Vidya Kumari. I'm currently in second year graduation and I love literature. Thank you for loving it. Literature is our sweetheart, all of ours. It grew more when I came across your videos. Thank you so much. But I'm confused where to start my preparation from. That is a very good question. I'm sure there are lots of beginners here. I'm sure there are lots of beginners here who want to know the same thing. Where do you start from? The answer is simple. If you are a beginner, start from the beginning. Start from the beginning. But don't stop at the beginning. Progress. For any beginner, what is important is history. Literary history in connection with world history. Absolutely important. And then, first you cover the history briefly. Then you can light up the different parts of history. Then you can go deeper, deeper, deeper for every period, for every author, for every text. Slowly, slowly over the years or over the months, you can continue adding more and more and more information to your understanding of history. First and foremost, understand the history. Starting from the beginning, down to the present day. There are so many videos that I myself have made about an overview of British literature, American literature, etc. I will do that in Unacademy also. Make use of that. And as soon as possible, please do a complete course so that you get everything thoroughly, so that you don't get misconceptions and there won't be gaps in your learning. It should be clear and solid. How to qualify JRF? I have already qualified NET. Pavan Berry is asking. What is the meaning of qualifying NET? Qualifying NET means you got a certain percentage of marks in that exam. And what is the meaning of JRF? JRF means you need a higher percentage of marks in the same exam. I would say to qualify for JRF, study more thoroughly. Make less mistakes in the exam. If you study British literature also, that will also help you. If you study British literature, that will help you in qualifying NET. If you study post-colonial literature or other literatures, that will also help you in qualifying NET with JRF. If you study culture studies, that will also help you. Study everything thoroughly. Do not think, oh, I have already cleared NET, so I don't need complete course. You don't have to do complete course if you don't want to, but this should not be the reason. Even when you study about Chaucer or Shakespeare, you can still get an additional question right, probably. Because none of us is 100% scholar. Every one of us needs to learn more, right? So study everything more thoroughly, more deeply. That is how you will easily qualify for JRF. Are you enjoying, guys? I'm just searching for the questions. Yeah. Swati Singh is saying, is it possible to improve my understanding of literature in 8 months? If yes, then how? Improve your understanding. Definitely you can improve in 1 day also. 8 months is a long time. In 8 months, you have to study from the beginning everything thoroughly, put in solid hours of smart work. 5-6 hours minimum if possible. I don't mean in one stretch. You can take like 2 hours and then take a break, then 1 hour, then half an hour, then 10 minutes, then another 1 hour. You can get it from the morning till night. What all you should do? You should study about periods and movements and styles and genres. You should study about the biographies of authors. You should know the text, the themes, characters, symbols and motifs. You should know a little bit about publishing and awards and criticism regarding a work. You should know the various theories. In 8 months, if that is what time you are allotting yourself, what you should do is keep a timetable. In the first month, I'll cover all this. Second month, I'll cover this. You may not stick to the timetable completely, so give yourself a little breathing space as well. If you end up disrupting the timetable, don't feel bad. It is normal. It is natural. Keep on coming back to your timetable. Keep on covering these things properly. Don't worry. We are there. In YouTube or the app or wherever you want, there are so many resources. And we are there to help you with your timetable and your guidance. It is going to be easy. You need to be a little determined, and also you need to have a little good planning, and you should be a good manager of time, of resources. That's all. You can definitely completely change yourself in 8 months. Completely. 8 months is too long, actually. You don't need 8 months. You can do it in less than that also. Neetu is saying, I love literature, and once I go behind an author, I go into details and details and links, and I pick up smallest details and forget about the mainstream. It is a thing about your personality, Neetu, that you need to control. You shouldn't wander like that. ऐसे भटकना नहीं चाहिए. You should never lose sight of your direction. Imagine going to a place. Suppose you go visiting a tourist spot. You are saying, I love this place, I love nature, I love seeing everything, and I go and go and go and go and I forget to come back. Arey, what is this? That is not what we expect of you. So control yourself. Give yourself, this is why you should have a timetable. Today I should finish Dickens or Virginia Woolf, you have decided. When you catch yourself going into details and details and details, bring yourself back. Hello, I have to finish. Only 2 more hours left. So you should prioritize. What is most important, what is less important, what you should keep for this time, for this day, what you should keep for another day. Prioritize. See, you're going to be teachers or you are already teachers. It should not be like, I don't know planning, I can't manage. It should not be like that. You can plan. You can manage. I know you can. Because as teachers, we need to do that all the time. So just control your urge to go into the details. Bring yourself back and stick to your plan as much as possible. Is that helpful? Neetu, I hope you will be able to plan and execute your plan as well. Thank you, Setu. Setu Lakshmi. There is a question again. Vidya is talking to me. Beginners should start from the beginning. Can you tell me some books from which I can really start, especially connecting to history? Ideally, what history books should you read? Ideally, you should read more than one history book. If you are a beginner, you can start with a small book like Ifor Evans. Ifor Evans's history is interesting and small, easy to understand. After you read a small book like that, you can go on into a detailed book. David Deutsch's, with 2 volumes of British history, David Deutsch's or Lewis and Kazamian, Compton and Rickett. These are all excellent books, but they are very big. You may not completely be able to cover them, reading them and understanding everything and remembering everything may not be possible. So what I should suggest is, you read them as reference books, major authors and works from Ifor Evans and smaller history books that you can read in detail in David Deutsch's, Poplowski. There are many British histories that are coming up these days also. So look at the publisher. Look at the language. If it suits you, if it's easy, you can follow it. Don't pressurize yourself. Don't get demoralized by reading such big books and don't think you have to memorize every single thing there. Use your discretion. You know probably that I follow the method of collecting information from all these major books and preparing my own books out of it. You can do the same thing. Either you follow our material, the same material I'll be sharing in Unacademy, you can follow that, which is a compilation of all the major books that you should read. Or you can just do it on your own. And when you read these days, don't just stick to the book. Based on what you have read today, at the end of the day, you can do some browsing. You can watch some YouTube videos. and enrich your understanding that way as well. That will also help you to remember. Geo Joy is saying, large descriptions in the answer options make me lose my confidence. If they ask just the author or the work, it is okay. Geo Joy, that is why you need practice. When you analyze the question paper, you often find that they are just trying to confuse you. The answer is, for a person who knows the topic, the answer is actually simple. Sometimes it is confusing and difficult, but if you think the right way, which will come automatically with your reading, then the answer is not simple. When you see a big question with so many confusing answers, first tell yourself, array, they are stressing. This is like a stress interview. This is a stress question. Don't panic. It'll be easy. It'll be easy. It'll be easy. Have positive thinking. Trust yourself. With a clear mind, think. Then you will be able to answer. So it is mostly about your psychology. It is about your mind. You have to control your mind. You have to manage your emotions. The difficult seeming questions should not stress you out. Which texts are important for net perspective, ma'am? As I told you, literary histories. Another very useful thing to do to identify the major texts is to collect as many syllabi as possible from across India. When you meet friends, along with sharing gossip or chit-chat, also ask them for their syllabus. Their syllabus you collect from across India. Look at these syllabi, consolidate the author's works and texts. That is what I have done in my material. I have been collecting syllabi from over the years from all my students. That is why our material is so vast, as you will see when you get the PDF in our complete course. Just ask your friends from across India. It is not difficult these days. Ask them to share the syllabus and look at the syllabi. That will give you an understanding of what are the major prescribed texts, especially from the major universities, like the central universities, for example. That is a foolproof way of knowing the important texts. I know it will be a lot. The list will be very long. Start. Don't, again, kill yourself, pressurize yourself. No. Start by thinking, at least now I know the titles. Wonderful. Let me just know the authors and works first. Let me just know a little bit more about the works then. A wonderful thing is to study in groups or to study with a teacher, because your work will get shared. When you're alone, you will have so much to do. But when you work in groups, you can share your work and get it done. So that's a wonderful, amazing way to prepare. Edward Albert, William J. Long, people are asking me about those books. They are also good, but they are a little old-fashioned. They are a little old, but I will never say you should not read them. Definitely, they are good, but they are not enough. You should look for some more contemporary works as well. Biographies of major authors are definitely important. When you study authors, study a little bit about their background. They have asked biographical questions about D.G. Rossetti, George Orwell, Graham Greene, to name a few, random, memory that I have. Biographies of authors are important. And also biographies of authors will help you to understand books in a better way. The first book which I should read for understanding British literature. You are forcing me to say, to start with read my material. But as I told you, go for a smaller, easier history book. I for Evans is good. William J. Long and William J. Long is a little difficult, but Edward Albert is good. It is easily readable. Edward Albert or I for Evans is the first book you should read. Gayatri is saying, if I choose 4-month course, then can I refer your 1-month MCQ Crash Course section? Let me tell you a little more about the course. In Unacademy, it is not like you are paying fees for one course. That is not how it works. You are taking subscription for NTA Net. And when you take subscription for NTA Net, you can attend any course in NTA Net, including all my courses. You can attend complete course within your subscription period. You can attend my MCQ course. You can attend other NTA instructors courses. And also paper one. That is why I'm saying it's really worth it. When you pay individually for courses, sometimes it will come to more than this. It is actually economical to join with a subscription and attend all these courses. You will get the PDF as well. It is really worth it. You know, I have always seen in my teaching career that a 1-month course or a short-term course, 3 or 4 months is also a short-term course, that is very effective. If you have like 1 year, you will feel like I can watch at any time. I have time, no problem, and you end up not doing it the right way. It is good that in Unacademy you have a subscription for a limited period, because then you will put in your best efforts. Before the subscription ends, I should finish watching these videos. You can also watch them again and again. I personally feel that will really help you to pass, because then you will be little forced to make the best use of these resources. When you join my courses or when you join Unacademy for this, please use my referral code Kalyani Vallath, and you will get around 20% discount on your fees. As one word, Kalyani Vallath. My name is given there, the correct spelling, and you can just put it as one word. That is the referral code with which you will get discount. Now, next question I have to answer is, how do I schedule studies in the coming time up to the exam? Oh, well, you look at the time you have, the available time you have, and divide the author's works, periods, and topics according to the time. And like we schedule a course, for example. And based on that, cover the authors and works in that manner, within that time, for which you will need the best resources. Those who have attended my classes before will know that this material that I have developed over the 23 years is pretty good. Otherwise, just use whatever good material you have. I'm sure in a country like India or in this world or in the internet, there are millions of very good material, millions of resources. Identify the best that is for you and use them. Always understand that it is not possible to study everything. It is not possible to study each and every author and each and every work, but at least the major authors and the major works. If you ask me who are the major authors, I cannot say that suddenly. You have to, attend a course where I will go over all the major authors and works. Size matter karta hai kya? What size? Size of the book? Size of the book will obviously mean more material in it, provided they are from international publishers. International books are of course very good, but some will be a little difficult to understand, and some will not have the right kind of factual information that you need. Some will be more general and analytical. If you have time, you can read such books. Otherwise, you should stick to the books that will give you facts, facts, and facts. Like Thomas Grind said, all I want is facts. Then, Yeah, I will reply to your messages and all that. Please tell us the name of the most concise, easiest, and simplest book. I am feeling very shy. It is the Contemporary Encyclopedia of British Literature, edited by Kalyani Vallath. I will say. But because it contains all the information from all these major books. But I don't want to make you to promote it or make you buy that book or anything. David Deutsch's. If you want me to say one book, David Deutsch's. 2 volumes are there. Any other questions that you want me to answer? For JRF, please remember to study cultural studies, research methods, and very importantly, new literatures. Post-colonial literatures, study them in depth. For GATE also, post-colonial literatures are very important. Shall I ask you a few questions? It must be a little boring for you. Shall I ask you a few questions? From which country is Tayeb Salih? Tayeb Salih. Answer me. Encyclopedia, 3 books are there, Shailesh. Tell me, Tayeb Salih, Salih, Season of Migration to the North, is his famous book. Where is he from? He is a very important post-colonial writer. Can you tell me the answer? He is from Sudan. Now you have heard this information. Make it a point to read about him today itself. Tayeb Salih. That should be the quality of a good student. Let me ask you another question. Who is the author of the book, The Slave Girl? Who is the author of the book, The Slave Girl? It is a novel set in Africa. The author also wrote The Bride Price. The joys of motherhood. Now you'll tell me. Joys of motherhood, The Bride Price, The Slave Girl, Gwendolyn, In the Ditch. That is right, Vidya. You are not a beginner, Vidya. You know everything already. Buchi Emacheta. Buchi Emacheta is the author of The Slave Girl, In the Ditch, The Bride Price. So what does that show? Study thoroughly. Study thoroughly every major author, all the works you should know. Next question I want to ask you is, who advocated the principle of disinterestedness in criticism? Who advocated the principle of disinterestedness in criticism? अभी तो ऑफलाइन क्लासेस तो नहीं है, कोरोना के वजह से ऑनलाइन ही है ना, तो क्या करें अभी? Tell. Disinterestedness. I will give you a clue. Victorian writer. It is a Victorian writer. That is right, Malavika, Gauri Praveen. It is Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold advocated the principle of disinterestedness. That is right. Now let me ask you a question. Whose non-fiction work is Moments of Being? Whose non-fiction work is Moments of Being? Yeah. Moments of Being is a non-fiction work from Virginia Woolf. That is right. Malavika, Raiza, Vidya. So many of you said it. It is a book by Virginia Woolf, published posthumously. That is right. Thank you, Santu. Now let me ask you another question. Whose autobiography is Ways of Seeing? Ways of Seeing. It is not a very tough question. It is a question that they asked in the previous net. Not directly. They asked an essay, the name of an essay from Moments of Being. It is not a difficult question for net because net already asked based on this book. That is why I am asking you. I am asking you based on previous year questions only. Ways of Seeing. Do you know? Ways of Seeing is John Burgess, Cultural Studies. It is based on a television program. And tell me, who wrote the colonial work, Mr. Johnson? Who is the author of the colonial work, Mr. Johnson? Colonial work, Mr. Johnson. That also they have asked before. That is right, Vidya, Raiza. Joyce Carey. Joyce Carey is the author of Mr. Johnson. That is a colonial work. It is important. I hope you'll remember. R.S. Crane, Elder Olson, Richard McKeown. They belong to which movement? R.S. Crane, Elder Olson, Richard McKeown. They belong to which movement? Which critical movement do they belong to? Critical movement of the 20th century. R.S. Crane, Richard McKeown, Elder Olson. Hi, good evening. You don't know? Tell me. It is Chicago School or Neo-Aristotelianism. Chicago School or Neo-Aristotelianism. R.S. Crane, Elder Olson, Richard McKeown. Chicago School, no, Chicago School, they have asked questions a lot of times. You know, there are no tough questions and easy questions. If you know about something, that is easy. If you do not know something, then it looks tough. That is why. It is not difficult. It is not tough. It is just that I'm trying to bring your attention to it. I am just trying to show you that you need to know more about this also. Did you understand? Which cultural studies theorist talked about field and habitus? That you might know. Which cultural studies theorist discussed the concepts of field and habitus? Tell me. NTA नेट पेड कोर्स के लिए Unacademy में सब्सक्राइब करो. For the next few months, I will be offering complete course in Unacademy. If you join Unacademy, you will get all my PDF and I will cover all the topics in detail. It will be amazing with lots of quizzes also. There are 2 courses that I am running, complete course for 4 months and also Mcq Crash Course, where also I will be explaining. Yes, guys, you said the right answer. It is Pierre Bourdieu. Did you all like the video, guys? Please like the video. And I hope you have already pressed the bell button because you need to be notified of the next video, right? To subscribe to Unacademy, please Google search Unacademy NTA subscription. You will get the rates and everything. You can also download the app and subscribe. Please subscribe with Kalyani Vallath referral code and you will get around 20% discount. Okay, Ramji Lal? Right. Pierre Bourdieu. Pierre Bourdieu has talked about field and habitus. Whenever I'm teaching on Unacademy YouTube platform, I will teach at 8 o'clock in the evening, okay? I will teach from 8 to 9 or 8 to 10. Please join me. You will get the notification. Please like and subscribe to Unacademy app and also press the bell button. And if you download Unacademy app, you can watch my special classes also. And you can join the course if you want. Before the exam, upcoming NET exam, it will be good if you join at least for 1 month. Right. Tell me another question, another answer I want to know. Whose famous short stories are In the Penal Colony and The Hunger Artist? Whose famous short stories are In the Penal Colony and The Hunger Artist? Wonderful that you're preparing for PGT. All best wishes. Please study thoroughly all the major authors and works and you will definitely pass. All best wishes. In the Penal Colony and The Hunger Artist are short stories by Franz Kafka. That's right, Franz Kafka. Now tell me, I am an American, Chicago born. I am an American, Chicago born. Tell me, wonderful that you joined an Unacademy course. Thank you very much. I hope you used my referral code and got the discount. Now tell me, I promise you, you will never regret it. You will never regret it. I promise you, you will really find that it's worth the money. Now, I am an American, Chicago born. That is the opening line of which novel? Yes, Tanuja, tell me the name of the novel. Which is the name of the novel? Guys, why don't you join for just 1 month if you want? If you don't want a long-term subscription, even 1 month will be worth it because before the exam, you will get thorough grounding in the subject and we'll be doing a tremendous lot of quizzes and all that. Saul Bellows, which novel? Tell me. Raiza said it. The Adventures of Augie March. The Adventures of Augie March. Unacademy time for UGC NET free classes. Will you please subscribe to the app? You will get notification. Okay, please, you will get notification. For my classes, I am a little confused. Let me tell you 1 minute. You need to know that, right? Upcoming free course in the app. There is an overview course that is coming up in Unacademy app, free app. Please attend that. Download the app and attend the overview course. That will be very useful for you. There is an overview course that I'm doing where you will get all the details quickly, starting from Monday. MCQ course will be in Unacademy paid app 1 to 2:30. Complete course is 3 to 5 p.m. And quick overview is from 7 to 9 p.m. for 2 weeks. Okay, this is the schedule. My classes. MCQ 1 to 2:30, but you can watch it later also. Then 3 to 5 p.m. is a complete course, 4-month wala. Then 7 to 9 is quick overview. Right. Now, you want some tips for better fluency and communication. My referral code is Kalyani Vallath. That's all. My referral code is Kalyani Vallath. Right. Please follow my profile to get all the details. I'm saying, wait, Pooja, I am replying to you. For fluency and communication skills, better communication skills, the first and most important thing you should do is to read English, listen to English, and then speak English as much as you can. There are YouTube videos and websites and apps and all that. Make use of them. Whatever is convenient for you and useful for you, you can make use of. Get yourself exposed to as much English as possible. I confess that I was not a very fluent speaker at first. I was not a very fluent speaker, but the more you use English, obviously, the better you become. So go on using more and more English. Speak whenever you want, whenever you can, and that will help you to improve. My Telegram channel for Unacademy has not been made yet. By the time I meet you again in YouTube or Unacademy special, we would have made it. Okay? So use it more and more, Pooja. You will definitely improve. Now, the next question I want to ask you is, in which year was Raymond Williams' Culture and Society published? In which year was Raymond Williams' Culture and Society published? Gauri Praveen, if you use Unacademy now, you can watch all the videos there that are live as well as past. Whatever classes I have taken till now also, you will be able to watch several times within the time of your subscription. Absolutely, yes. That is right, Tanuja. Tanuja said the answer. Others are also going to say, I know. Culture and Society was published in 1958. 1958. Let me ask you another question. Am I boring you? Isn't this useful? I need your reassurance. If I am not boring you, you got to tell me. Okay. Next question I will ask you. Aurora Leigh is an epic poem by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Aurora Leigh is an epic poem by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. How many books does it have? An epic poem usually has 12 books. How many books does Aurora Leigh have? That is right, Binny. Aurora Leigh has 9 books because 9 is the number of the Sibyl. 9 is a female number. 12 is the male epic number. Did you understand? Yeah. Now, next question I want to ask you is, what is the poem, famous poem by D.G. Rossity, published in 1850? What is the famous poem by D.G. Rossity, published in 1850? Did you know that? Do you know the answer? That is right. Khushbu said it. The Blessed Damozel was published in 1850. Now I am telling you, what are the other things that happened in 1850? I am helping you remember. What are the other things that happened in 1850? Tell me. Will you please like the video, guys? You can also share it in Facebook and social media so that your friends can also join us. Will you please share the video? What are the other things that happened in 1850? Think about it. William Wordsworth died. Tennyson became poet laureate. In Memoriam was published. Right? Tennyson became poet laureate. In Memoriam was published. Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood was formed in 1848, 2 years before this. It was in 1848. Yeah. So when you study a year, please cross-connect and study. When you study a year, please cross-connect and study with other things. In 1850, The Prelude was posthumously published. The Prelude was posthumously published in 1850. Did you know that? When you remember a year, remember all the things that happened in that year. Okay? There will be, you know that in Google, in Wikipedia, if you search 1950 in literature, then you will be able to see all the things that happened in 1950. That is right, Ramji Lal. David Copperfield also published in 1850. That's right. So from today onwards, identify major years and collect all the major things that happened in that year, cross-connect and study. That way you'll remember. Not only David Copperfield, Scarlet Letter was published in 1850 as well. Not only in British literature, but in American literature also things happened. 1850 was indeed a happening year. Happening year. In which year was Leaves of Grass published? In which year was Leaves of Grass published? Tell me. It was 5 years after this, 1855. 1855, Leaves of Grass. No, Red Badge of Courage cannot be 1850 because Red Badge of Courage is about American Civil War. Red Badge of Courage is set during the American Civil War, and American Civil War happened from 1861 to 65. 1861 to 65 is American Civil War, isn't it? Right. Leaves of Grass was published in 1855. That is right. Now let me ask you a question. Which Shakespearean critic wrote How Many Children Had Lady Macbeth? Which Shakespearean critic wrote How Many Children Had Lady Macbeth? Do you know that one? How many children had Lady Macbeth? Tell me the answer. That is right. Elsie Knight. Elsie Knight wrote How Many Children Had Lady Macbeth? Now tell me, who wrote the Roman play Cato? Who wrote the Roman play Cato? Who wrote the Roman play Cato? Addison, Joseph Addison wrote the Roman play Cato. It is not enough that you know that much. Read a little bit extra about that also. Remember. In cultural studies, who is with which theory is Leonard Davis associated? In cultural studies, with which theory is Leonard Davis associated? L-E-N-N-A-R-D-D-A-V-I-S. Leonard Davis. Do you know? It is disability theory. Disability theory. Okay? Coming to characters. In which famous novel do you have a club-footed protagonist called Philip Carey? In which famous novel do you have a club-footed protagonist called Philip Carey? Philip Carey, C-A-R-E-Y. Philip Carey is from Somerset Maughams of Human Bondage. Of Human Bondage. Can you tell me the names of books published in 1935? Can you tell me the names of books published in 1935? Tell me. 1935. Murder in the Cathedral. Then Murder in the Cathedral, 1935. Then Untouchable. That is right, Malavika, Shashi Rana, Tanuja. Untouchable. Then one more. Untouchable then. Wow, England Made Me. Swami and Friends also. That is right. Swami and Friends also 1935. That is wonderful. There is a novelist who got Sahitya Academy Award for poetry in English. His debut novel was Narcopolis. Who is the author? A novelist who got Sahitya Academy Award for poetry in English. His debut novel was Narcopolis. Who is the author? Tell me. Hey guys, if I do this kind of question, that's right, Raiza, Jeet Tayal. Would you like it if I do more revision like this, question answer sessions like this? Tell me. If I do more question answer sessions like this in Unacademy YouTube, would you like that? Would it help you? But you have to attend, you have to like and share, you have to bring your friends so that my work will benefit more people. Okay? Right. I will talk to Unacademy people and do it. All right? Because with each question answer, you will be really able to remember a lot. That is why. Okay? I will do that. Okay? I will do that. Yes. Thank you. Now, if all of you like my video, please share my video also so that more people will benefit from it. Okay? Right. Now, let me ask you a question. Who is the author of Decline and Fall of the Romantic Ideal? Decline and Fall of the Romantic Ideal. Who is the author? Decline and Fall of the Romantic Ideal. Who is the author? I am waiting for all the answers. It is F.L. Lucas. Binny said. Shailesh said. So many of you said. Wonderful. F.L. Lucas. Now tell me. Are you bored? Do you want me to stop? No, right? Now tell me. Kali Thal. K-A-L-I-T-A-L. K-A-L-I-T-A-L. Kali Thal is associated with which theory? Which theory is Kali Thal associated with? Array, there are 62 people attending and only 34 likes are there. Why so? You probably gave me half like, I know. You gave me half like. Kali Thal is associated with what? Theory. Remember this. It is trauma studies. Kali Thal is associated with trauma studies. Will you remember? Trauma studies. Oh, is it? Okay. Sorry, Shailesh. I didn't see properly, I think. Now, tell me. Trauma studies, you don't know. I will explain. Trauma studies began with Sigmund Freud itself when Freud talked about hysteria. Trauma studies is a very important theory these days. Many people are doing research on it. Individual trauma, collective trauma, historical trauma, so many aspects are there for trauma studies. Kali Tal wrote the book Worlds of Hurt. Worlds of Hurt. Very famous theory. Arey, I really think you should attend my classes. So many things are there that you need to know now. Kali Tal. Kali, K-A-L-I-T-A-L. Kali Tal. I know, I'm talking about trauma theory. The most important author of Worlds of Hurt, W-O-R-L-D-S, H-U-R-T, hurt, not heart, hurt, Worlds of Hurt. And it is about trauma in literature. Kali Tal's book, Worlds of Hurt, is about trauma in literature. Kathy Caruth has also written about trauma studies. Kathy Caruth, C-A-T-H-Y-C-A-R-U-T-H. She is also a very major writer of trauma studies. Unclaimed Experience is a major work. Unclaimed Experience. No problem. पहली बार कभी कभी सुनना पड़ता है ना. Next time दूसरी बार हो जाएगा. No problem. Unclaimed Experience is the most important book in trauma studies. You know, so many people these days are already doing trauma studies research. All right? Okay. So I will teach you about these theories. Remember, I have already started literary theory overview. I will come to all that presently. Okay. I was just checking out a book. Don't worry, I will teach you literary theory also. Then globalization theory is there. In globalization theory, who talked about the concept of disjuncture? In globalization theory, who talked about the concept of disjuncture? Disjuncture means in globalization, there is a lot of flow happening. The flow of people, the flow of money or finance, the flow of ideas, the flow of technology, the flow of media. There is a disjuncture. That means it is not a smooth relationship. There is a disjuncture in this flow. That idea is put forward by Arjun Appadurai. Disjuncture is an idea put forward by Arjun Appadurai, and disjuncture is related to Arjun Appadurai's concept of 5 scapes. 5 scapes. Ethnoscape, mediascape, ideoscape, financescape, technoscape. You know, Rome was not built in a day. Suddenly one day you can't remember and understand everything. That is why I have begun. I am going to teach you. These are all very important things. Slowly, today itself, read a little bit about Arjun Appadurai, disjuncture and 5 scapes. Will you do that? Promise me you will do that today itself. Wonderful. Thank you. Then let me ask you another question. Yellow Book was the journal of which movement? Yellow Book, journal of which movement? The Yellow Book, initially associated with which movement? It was a quarterly. That is right, Ankita. It was a quarterly literary periodical associated with the aesthetic movement. The Yellow Book associated with the aesthetic movement. Yes, Priya, मेरा crash course चल रहा शुरू हो रहा कल Unacademy पे. कल से शुरू हो रहा. I'll be teaching in a very interesting way with showing you pictures and everything. If not for longer period, at least for 1 month take subscription. It will be really worth it, I was telling everybody. You can attend the complete course as well as crash course. Alright, now let me teach you about yellow book. This yellow book is also referred to, one yellow book is referred to in the picture of Dorian Gray. In picture of Dorian Gray reads a yellow book and becomes immoral. You know, he starts leading a life of debauchery or immorality after reading this yellow book. That same name, yellow book, is given to the journal associated with aesthetic movements. Oscar Wilde was part of aesthetic movement, right? Art for art's sake movement is also called aesthetic movement. Right? So, remember this cross connection. Yellow book means the book referred to in picture of Dorian Gray. Yellow book also is the periodical associated with the aesthetic movement and decadence. Remember decadence. Right. Tell me, who wrote the travel books? Mornings in Mexico, Sea and Sardinia, Etruscan Places, who wrote the travel books? Mornings in Mexico, Sea and Sardinia, Etruscan Places, Twilight in Italy. It is D.H. Lawrence. Priya Yadav. Unacademy में हर एक कोर्स का फीस नहीं होता. You have to take subscription. You can take 1 month subscription for 2,000 rupees or something. And then you can attend all the courses that are running at that time in NTA Net category. Unacademy NTA Net category subscription Google search करो. नहीं तो download करो app और भर्ती हो जाओ. ठीक है? If you spend a little bit of money like 2,000, you can watch my videos, my MCQ Crash Course, complete course, then paper 1, all Unacademy courses. So many educators are there, all their courses you can join. And if you use my referral code Kalyani Vallath as one word, Kalyani Vallath, you can get some 20% discount also. Will you do that? Okay. Now tell me. George Savage Fitzboodle is a pen name used by whom? George Savage Fitzboodle. What can I do, Tanuja? I was born cute. I can't help it. Tell me, George Savage Fitzboodle is a pen name used by... That is right, William Mcq Thackeray. Ankita, having attended my course before, you answer all the questions, they are going to feel really bad. You keep quiet, Ankita. George Savage Fitzboodle. Michelangelo Titmarsh. This is also a pseudonym used by William Mcq Thackeray. Okay, let me ask you another question. Which is the novel subtitled A Tale Supposed to be written by himself? A tale supposed to be written by himself. Famous novel subtitled A Tale Supposed to be written by himself. Bolo. I will give you a clue. Mr. Primrose is the protagonist. Now you will know. Mr. Primrose is the protagonist. So many people answered. Wonderful. Malavika, Tanuja, wonderful. Geo Joy is answering previous questions, but that's okay. It is the Vicar of Wakefield. The Vicar of Wakefield, a tale supposed to be written by himself. Will you remember? There is a famous play anonymously written by the Duke of Buckingham, by Samuel Butler, etc., against Dryden, making fun of Dryden, making fun of Dryden's heroic plays. Which play was written? Which play was written? Which play was written making fun of Dryden and his heroic play? It is the play The Rehearsal. And which is the play by Sheridan modelled on The Rehearsal? Which is the play by Sheridan modelled on The Rehearsal? The play by Sheridan modelled on The Rehearsal is The Critic. The Critic. All right. Now let me ask you another question. Who won the Sahitya Academy Award in English for the first time? Who won? Hi Sherry, long time no see. Who won the Sahitya Academy Award for English for the first time? Tell me. That is right. R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan is right. In which year was Nobel Prize first introduced? In which year was Nobel Prize first introduced? Nobel Prize first introduced in which year? 1901. In 1907, Rudyard Kipling became the first English language writer to win the Nobel Prize. Rudyard Kipling became the first English language writer to win the Nobel Prize. Now tell me, who said this famously? Shakespeare was the Homer, or father of our dramatic poets. Johnson was the Virgil, the pattern of elaborate writing. Yeah, Sully Pradhom got it in 1901. That's right. Sully Pradhom got it in 1901. Who said Shakespeare was the Homer, or father of our dramatic poets? Johnson was the Virgil, the pattern of elaborate writing. It is by Dryden in Of Dramatic Poesy, isn't it? It is in Of Dramatic Poesy. That's right. Then tell me, who published Gitanjali in English? Who published Gitanjali in English? Who published Gitanjali in English? It is Macmillan. That is right. It is Macmillan. Macmillan published Gitanjali in English. When Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence, The Tropic of Cancer by Henry Miller, and Fanny Hill by John Cleland underwent obscenity trial, who was the star witness for Lady Chatterley's Lover? Which writer was the star witness for Lady Chatterley's Lover? At the obscenity trial, who was the star witness for Lady Chatterley's Lover? It is Richard Hogarth. Richard Hogarth, who wrote Uses of Literacy and who established the Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies, CCCS, at the University of Birmingham. That same Richard Hogarth. I am telling you, not to test your ignorance, but I am telling you these details so that you will be able to cross-connect. It is a memory technique. It will help you remember. I will teach you like this when I do the course. I will cross-connect and help you remember. It will become very easy. That is how you should study. Richard Hogarth, the man who, he actually established CCCS with the money he got from Penguin. It is with the money that he got from Penguin that he established CCCS. Now you'll remember, won't you? Now you'll remember. इसलिए भूल गई because you did not cross connect. Otherwise you will forget. You cross connect and study intelligently, then you will remember. Trust me, I can do it for you. I am very good at it. I know this. Now, tell me, from which country was D.G. Rossiti's father? D.G. Rossiti's father was from which country? You will wonder, oh my God, why should I know D.G. Rossiti's father? But when I tell you how to cross connect, you will understand, oh my God, it's so easy. It is so easy. You don't know? Not Russia. Remember this. D.G. Rossiti is pre-Raphaelite. Pre-Raphaelite. Raphael is from Italy. They went to Italian painting before the time of Raphael. D.G. Rossiti's father was Italian. Yashoda, Malavika, Archana, that is right. D.G. Rossiti's father was from Italy. He was an Italian patriot. And that Italian connection you should not forget. That is why he became a pre-Raphaelite. That is why he was interested in Italian painting. Did you understand? Did you understand? Now, we have 3 more minutes. Tell me, Marius the Epicurean is a novel that belongs to which movement? Marius the Epicurean is a novel that belongs to which movement? I will stop in 3 minutes. Tell me fast. Marius the Epicurean is the only novel by Walter Pater. Marius the Epicurean is the only novel by Walter Pater. Remember? So it is aesthetic movement, art for art's sake movement. Whose novel is Hag Seed, which refers to The Tempest? Whose novel is Hag Seed, which refers to The Tempest? Indirectly, it is referring to The Tempest. That is right. Hag Seed is written by Margaret Atwood. Margaret Atwood. What is common to Amy Césaire, Leopold Sédar Senghor, and Leon Damas? What is common to Amy Césaire, Leopold Sédar Senghor, and Leon Damas? They are all propounders of the founders of the negritude movement. They are all founders of the negritude movement. Pride in blackness. Remember? Negritude? It's a very major movement. Guys, I'm really telling you, it will be worth it. It will be the most amazing thing in your educational career if you join this complete course. I'm not trying to sell it. After asking questions, I know that you really need it. This could be the solution for your problems. And also, it is really worth the money because along with my complete course, you can get MCQ course, you can get so many other courses including paper 1. If you want a proper foundation, trust me, I don't cheat people. I will never cheat you. I will put in my best efforts and I will build that proper foundation. If you trust me, join Unacademy with a subscription for 6 months you might need, or you can take 3 months and after that 1 month. Join this course, join MCQ course, you might pass this net itself. If not, the next net for sure. I'm confident and I know that I'm saying the right thing that will help you. I'm not trying to market it. I'm talking like a teacher. If you trust me, do it. Otherwise, follow these tips and study on your own. Then also you will pass. God bless you. I'm there for you in YouTube, in special as well as in plus. Wherever you want, you can find me. Thank you very much. Remember to use my referral code if you're joining, Kalyani Vallath. Okay, bye-bye. I have to put an end to today's session now. And thank you.